All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Happy Monday. Happy November. Last time we talked, it was October. So happy November for everyone here. It's the home stretch now. Now it's really the home stretch. Got 2 months left of the year. Time to make the most of it. I am just finishing up a little bit of a watch list here. Also taking a look at some tickers. Okay. One second, folks. We got some nice movers this morning. No doubt about it. And okay. Cool. So I think top watch today. We got good gappers. Definitely got good gappers, but I think there are a couple that really stick out to me. It looks like they've got good good news for some clinical data. I'm not great with biotechs like this. This seems like a legitimate. Based on the reaction to this news, it's a larger company. It's $1 billion company. It seems like it's good news. I'm not really sure how to play this one. NOK is probably one of my top watches this morning for a first screen day. Nokia. Big move here, 640, 820. We fade off 3 days in a row. We're gapping up very slightly this morning. We're up 3.5%. Then we've also got THAR, which is not properly loading right now. Let's try this again. There we go. Just got a little bit weird when I tried to screen share is all. THAR, good day one gapper. It's up from basically 3 to 750 in the last 30 minutes. So, about to break out a high day here too. We're pushing 740s right now. So we've definitely got some contenders today. THAR, it's going to be our classic day one gapper. I think it's not going to be. Again, we've talked about this concept before. When they gap up like this late into the pre-market, I like to give it some time to see if support and resistance is we need to build support and resistance. And by the way, THAR really is just a first green day at the end of the day. First bounce day, I guess, is what some might call it here. We have this big run back here in August, goes from, $1 up to $9 over the course of a couple of days. We just kind of chill down here. And now we're getting this real backside bounce here. So here's the issue with it, in my eyes, right? Pre-market highs here today are at 750. But we've got a lot of resistance here at $9. We've also got some resistance here. We broke over this bit of resistance, and we're between this bit of resistance now. So, I'm not going to sit here and say it can't break out. That would be silly. But this kind of first green day style bounce, or this bounce day, we don't tend to see these just lead straight to a breakout, or at least a breakout that holds. So I'm going to be trading this cautiously, if I even look to take a trade on it, because we've naturally got some resistance here. Nokia is by far my top watch for a long this morning out of the gates. Pardon me. Let's pull up a 5-day chart here. So here we are so far this morning. For some reason, why is it showing this? I've turned off after hours. I don't know. That's weird. But yeah, we've got this little gap up here. Again, this isn't going to be this is honestly a really good TradeFunder stock, where you're not going to get a massive percent move on this. It might go up. I like to mark out our levels here that we've got so far. Pretty key area here, roughly $7.30. We've got this low here, kind of tested support here. Then we test resistance there. 730 to me is a pretty key level. Now, I could very realistically see us going through this. We've got another level right up here then though at 740, and then a little bit more here at 750. Basically every 10 cents we've got pretty key areas of support and resistance. If this goes past like 750, I'd be very surprised. Not to say it can't, but that would be on like the higher end of my expectations. So what I'm looking for more so here is going to be a tight risk to reward trade where, we get maybe 5, maybe 10 cents worth of risk for, 20 to 30 cents of upside. So it's not a big percent play, but it is one where, theoretically could load in a few thousand shares with tight risk for a big gain. So that's the way I'm looking at this trade personally. But no true plan yet. I'd like to see this dip out of the gates a little bit. We are gapping up, quite a bit for a bigger company, a slower moving stock. Especially considering, we closed 690. We're up roughly 30 cents a share. And that's roughly what I'd like my reward to be, is like 30 cents a share. So I'm going to just keep this in the back of my mind here as I go into this morning. And yeah, just try to stay patient for it. Those are my top 3 watches. Again, turn, not really super convicted in this. Looks like this chart froze too. Not sure what's going on there. I may actually go ahead and switch over to this. I'm going to switch screen share, I think. Give me just a moment. Cool. Okay, let's do this. Because I think I've messed up something on this screen share here. So we'll screen share this one, just so charts are up to date. And there's the opening bell. So yeah, Thar is not on my upper range of watches here, at least for now. NOK is going to be my kind of top watch here. Very slow so far. No real volume coming in. I'd like to see a dip. But for now, just a little bit of a patience game. Just waiting to see what we get, if anything, even here on Thar. Turn, we had a nice little dip out of the open there. Just dip down sub 13, straight up into a halt, basically. Just about into a halt, I should say. And okay, we're getting some volume coming in here. Didn't really do any, didn't set up for a dip or anything yet. Can't just blindly buy that. Thar dipping really hard here out of the open. And okay, I'd love to just see some consolidation, right? I need a risk level to form. Something I can have some conviction in. Oh, AQMS, kind of interesting too, by the way. Third day surge style trade. It's got news today. Had a little bit of a gap up here in pre-market. Not my favorite, just because it clearly didn't react that well to the news. But I definitely think something worth keeping an eye on if it does consolidate. It's lower volume. Over here on the right-hand side is the daily chart. Something I'll keep an eye on at the very least, but not going to get overly aggressive on. And okay, we're getting a little bit of a dip here. Okay. Nokia dumping new low a day on a lot of volume. So this could be a failed first screen day. Oh man, that's a bit of a bummer. Thar, I think we're still dipping, sadly. Thar could be a little bit of a reversal play here. One way I would personally like to see Thar play out, in a scenario where I would actually consider a trade on this, if we just get like a fake breakdown of like 550 here and then just kind of instantly reverse through this trend, I would not mind seeing that at all. We don't really have a trend forming. It would need to dip down here through sub 50 and then basically just rip right back through 6. I'd definitely consider a long on that. I'd consider a long. We need to actually break under that 550 low, though. Get shorts getting all comfortable. Okay, now this is where I'd want to see that reversal candle. Right back here through 6. I shouldn't say it's the only way I'd consider a trade on it. It's simply one of the ways that I'd prefer. Turn is setting up kind of nicely. Getting a little bit of a trend forming here now. It's holding dips pretty well. That's a pretty big wick right there. Again, just a patience game for now. I like to let the action shake out a little bit. Thar, if we can get through 6 here, I'll take a long on it. I'll take a starter long. Because I think what we'd get then, I think what we see then are a lot of shorts who are like, oh, yep, see, it just gapped into too much resistance. And at this point now, too, like there's a little bit better of a, I think, argument for a decent risk to reward trade. Where, you know, even if this goes to like 750 to 8, it's a 50-cent risk for what could be, you know, $1, at least $1, 2-to-1 risk to reward trade, versus having to buy a breakout on this through 750 or hoping for a 950 breakout, which very likely may not come. But that's only if we can actually bounce back through. Right now, I mean, it very well could just, shorts just could be right, you know. Turn, I don't hate this idea here through like 1470. Decent risk to reward. Risk on $14. A little bit of a fake trend breakdown here too. $14.60s or so. Nokia, I've still got an eye on it on my other screen. I'll bring it back up if it starts playing out decently. So if you're really aggressive on Thar, you could probably make an argument to buy like through this trend here on like 570s. I'm not that aggressive, so I'm not going to do that. But, you know, I don't think it's the worst idea. I would rather see a series of higher lows first. And again, at this point, it's kind of already just kept dipping. It broke 550 and then it broke 520 and now we're trying to bounce. So I'd rather wait for more confirmation personally. That's just my take. Yeah, Thar's a bit disappointing, but that's, again, we just gapped straight into resistance, basically. Turn, we'll see if that can turn, if you will. It's an easy to borrow. It's like a real company, so maybe the idea that a lot of people can short it. They're trying to short it. Good news, we'll again, patience game right now. Patience game. Patience game. Anything else noteworthy? I don't love FIO, PHIO. I really don't love that. Also had a pretty gnarly move on MSPR. This is one of those ones we were looking at it on Friday. Round trip 100% gain. Now gapping up pretty nicely. Actually, pretty, and it's shocking how well it's holding too. So, did this have news? No news. Very interesting. And it's traded nearly 300 million shares today too. Oh, over 300 million shares today. No. Yeah, Thar's breaking under 5 at this point. That may very well just be a dud. Might just be a dud. Yeah, kind of a slow morning here so far. None of my ideas are working too well. I will say, again, I don't love it, Nokia, but at the very least, there's a decent case for a trend break here. It's a bullish daily chart. I started a little bit there at $7.13 off of this dip. I'll just risk that low there at 709 for now. I would like to add into this, build into this trade, just through this trend break here, basically. Just buying through this trend break. Right now, risk is like 4 cents. But I don't have a lot of confirmation in this. We have no real higher low yet. Turn. Hold on. Stop. Take a look to take an ad here through 1450, which there's a lot of selling here at 1450, a lot of hidden selling. I don't love that. So I'm actually going to wait for the 1450 break. Big bidder there at 49. Yeah. So I'll actually show you what I mean here. We can kind of see. I'll throw up even the level 2. If you can see it. I'll make Nokia a little bit smaller for now. Because we come up to 1450, you'll see not yet. Got to get to 1450 first. You'll see there's not much size on the level 2 at 1450, but they're just not letting it through. They're not letting it break through. Nokia, what I'd love to see here is a higher low over 709 And then I'd look to add through this the $7.14 break. Thought I was about to halt down through 4. I'm glad we stayed patient on that. Halting down at 396. Wow. Ugly. That's ugly. What's MSPR doing? MSPR is chilling at 80 cents. So yeah, turn, I'll look to buy a 1450 break here with just a risk on 1386 or whatever our higher low is. Not ultra convicted in this trade. Oh, I did not get to add any Nokia. Added a smidge there at 715. Another easy to borrow stock. It's a real company, so. Although I don't know if you call Nokia a real company per se, but you get what I mean. It's a real company. I'm going to keep my risk on 709 for now. That's not the best higher low. I would have liked a little bit more of a little bit stronger of a higher low. So I'm going to keep my risk on 709. My average is $7.13.5 per share. Turn at this point, really just waiting for that 1450 break. I'm almost wondering if it needs like one more fake breakdown before it can do it. Again, the selling at 1450 is weird. It feels very, very forced. We'll see if we can get back up there. I'll show you what I mean. I'm sure that seller will still be there. It was there earlier too on this breakout right here before it ended up dumping. But I feel like it could really benefit from one more dump before it just swipes through, takes out that seller, whoever's there. This is a true breakout now too of like a real company. I don't think it's quite all-time highs. Yeah, I mean it's had back in 21, it was up in the 20s, but multi-year breakout. If we go to like a weekly chart on this, it's breaking out of multi-year highs now. A multi-year breakout, I guess. Nokia definitely taking a little bit of a dump there. So if we can hold this higher low here over 709, I'd love to be able to move my risk to 711. Then look to add that 715. All right, turn. Are we going to do it? Breaking under this trend line now. Which, there's actually a lot of buying here at 14 as well. That was a lot of hidden buying. Just like there was hidden selling at 14.50, a lot of hidden buying there at $14. There were about 100 shares on 14. Yet they were soaking it up pretty good. They're soaking up, I'd say, hundreds of shares. Nokia, not loving that. Nokia, that's again, I mean, I'm risking 709, so if we break under it, we break under it, which looking like we might. We still got a penny. We still got a penny to wait. All right, here comes 1450 on turn. Oh, broke right through it. Broke right through it. Took a little bit of an ad there at 1462. 1462 is where I got filled. Just going to risk 14 at this point. New high a day. Let's see if we can break pre-market highs of 15. Setting my stop. And just going to try to let this thing work. Nokia. I just had to cut there. Broke down. It is what it is. It's part of the game. Come on, turn. Give us a new pre-market, break pre-market highs here. I'm going to try to hold this one. I'd like to try to get this through 16 bucks. I'd love to see this thing through 16, but just to really make that risk reward worth it, risking, roughly 50 cents a share. I'd love to see a 3-to-1 on this. I think we break over pre-market highs at this point too. I don't think that's totally unfounded, like uncalled for. Because we just had this kind of fake breakdown here, which again, getting a couple of these wicks here, wick, and we start breaking down. Shorts just might be thinking to themselves, fake breakouts, and then we get the real breakout. Nokia, a little bit of a bummer. We'll see. It came right back through that low a day. Just it's like, how many times do we need to do that before we actually work? Like, I need a risk level I can trust. A lot of hidden selling at 15 now. So you see there's a few hundred shares on the ask here, 100 shares at 15. But I mean, they've sold hundreds of shares. I mean, really thousands of shares now at 15 bucks. And there's not letting it break through. So it was doing the same thing. It was just doing it 14.50, but now doing it 15. I don't like looking into this too much, especially on a bigger company, just because, like, again, it's naturally going to trade more volume. MSPR failed. I'll remove Nokia for now. Needs more time to set up. That failed pretty hard. Did that halt down? That halted down. Wow. Big failure there on MSPR. Turn. Come on. Come on. Yeah, this one will also probably be, like, relatively speaking, be a slower mover. The halt band is at 1601 right now. So if we get up to 16, the halt down is at 1323. So theoretically, if it dumps, should get stopped out before that. Come on, turn. You can do it. Still a lot of selling there at 15. And what it's needed to do so far, so it seems anyway, is that it's needed to like dip before that breakout. I mean, we saw the same thing right here. Needed to dip before we just ended up ripping through 1450. Gonna take a look at a couple other of our day one gappers here and just see what they're up to. FIO. That's kind of a dud. I don't like that. That's just too choppy. CRBU is that? Oh gosh, no. Nope. Eric, what's AREC doing? Fading. Yeah, not a lot of movement from a lot of our gappers here. Thar is basically done. Any gappers I'm missing right now? Do I like the 945 rule or no? I don't want to say like either one way or the other. It really depends on what the setup is, right? It's totally dependent on the setup. If there's a setup like a dip and rip that happens in the first 5 minutes, then it happens in the first 5 minutes. But like generally speaking, I think more patience is good out of the open just because there's so much choppiness, right? Like the 945 rule would have saved a newer trader from Thar if they were just looking to hold on. There we go. Just about hit 16 bucks there. Oh, are we going to fail? Don't fail this. Oh, yuck, 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 yuck. Come on. Hold up. Hold it up. Give us 16. Give us 16. Wasn't much volume on that breakout, but as soon as they got rid of that $15 seller, they were ready to just send that thing to the races, like a racehorse. Come on. I don't love that. I don't love that. Let's get a strong breakout. It's just, it can't hold up that well. If we go back under 15, I'm going to be very disappointed in this. We'll see if that hidden seller turns to a hidden buyer. Nope. Okay. All right. That's feeling a little bit like a fake pre-market high break. Yeah. Yeah. I don't love it. I'm not just going to cut out here. But I mean that, yeah, I'm out. Now I'm out. That's just very weak. That should have, in my opinion, that should have done a lot more than it just did there. And we instantly break over pre-market highs and then just fade right back down. To me, that's a bit too bearish. If it works from here, great, but it's just a little bit bearish for me. Yeah, a little bit of a bummer this morning so far. Not really feeling too confident on anything right now. Nokia not doing anything crazy either. Okay, well, turn, maybe I just suck. It's also what you get with like I guess a bigger company, like a real stock, quote unquote. Sorry, as I was saying, that's like just kind of what you get with the real companies. You do just get some choppier moves. I might have been sized in a little bit too aggressively. Let's see. Do we have any other movers here? NUAI. What do we got going on here? Oh, turn. You're so gorgeous. I just stopped out too early. Didn't want to turn a winner to a loser, and I got paid for that. RNTX cancer news, risk red to green. RNTX. No. And that's no. I mean that. Listen, The most volume came on the fake pre-market high breakout, and now we're down over 50% from there. Right. I hope it works, right? But like this is not, I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. That's people are just so bagged from pre-market. The move already happened. Like, yeah, good news. And it ran 100%. But you already missed it. You already missed the 100% move. You know, like that's the thing. Yeah, that's something you got to remember. Like, if a stock has good news, but then it already like reacts to that news, like sometimes you just miss the news, and you miss the news in that case if you didn't hit that earlier pop. What do we have with ESLA? What's ESLA? Nope, that's nothing. III earnings. NUAI. NUAI, nice breakout. Nice breakout there on NUAI. It's a nice multi-day breakout there. I mean, honestly, that's another one. Like the move was really nice right here through like this 620 level. Very nice spot at 607. I just didn't get, you know. Like this, I can't really chase up here. SLNH, just checking through some movers that we got right now. Mid-range, not a terrible chart, just very mid-range there. FEMI, what do we have with FEMI? A little bit of a curl going on. Yeah, I mean, decent moves. I mean, decent potentials, some decent contenders for later. But right now, not a whole lot going on. NOK is back. Listen, that is kind of interesting. I feel like that's something I've got to look at, keep an eye on once more. Through the 715 with a risk on 708, it's a little bit wider of a risk than I wanted, but I mean, it's still not bad. We got that fake low day breakdown, then a higher low, and then, you know, a true breakout here. I would want to be buying before the 721 breakout, at least with some size. At least with some. I'd look to add through that if it does start to work, but gonna start keeping a close eye on this one here on NOK. This I feel like is the area to keep an eye out on. Turn is starting to consolidate well up here. I don't know if I really want to take another attempt on it, but it's definitely holding up well. At this point, I feel like I don't have a good read on the way it moves, so probably not worth taking a position on, just for the sake of the way I'm trading it. But definitely a contender here for anyone that feels confident in a trade like that. All right, Nokia, come on. Can you do it? Can you do it? I think you can do it. And also, while we're waiting for Nokia, if you guys have any questions, you want to do some Q&A, let me know. Oh, speaking of, hold on, NOK is now at 715, so let's actually wait a second on Q&A here. see if we can't get this. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Double tap that. At this point, I think that 715 is the clear level, though, to keep an eye out for the breakout. Yeah. Got to give it some time. Is that EMA line or VWAP? VWAP. Turn is a grinder. Why do you look at it? I wouldn't call it really a grinder. I mean, I guess like since open, it's been grinding, but the consolidation levels are nice. They're nice consolidation levels. I really wouldn't call this much of a grinder, to be honest with you. Like, we're getting clean consolidation breakouts. We got a clean move here, 14.10 to 15, $1 a share move there. I personally wouldn't call that a grindy stock, but like, you know, to each is their own. It's a slower moving stock, but it moves correctly through the right levels. At least it has been. That one breakdown definitely shook me out a little bit. But I maybe a little bit choppy, but clean at the right levels. Just a big float acting like a big float. Yeah, well said. Well said. Which platform to use to pre-market scan? Stocks to trade. Johnny Twofer earlier said, isn't that reasonable, not wanting to turn a winner into a loser? I'd say no. I don't think that's really reasonable personally. Because then like that you have to take risk. Like your job as a trader is to take risk, not to try to win all the time. And so there just isn't really much of a world where like you go into a trade risk free. That almost never happens. You have to accept the risk as a trader. So I'd say like no, I don't really think it's acceptable personally. Like I think you have to be okay with taking a loss as long as your loss is pre-planned. Like you know where you're going to take that loss if the trade doesn't work. And I mean, a lot, because then what ends up happening is like anytime you're in the right trade, you're not that if your entire goal is to just never turn a winner into a loser, then what ends up happening is you feel like you have to have the perfect entry. And I do think entry is really important. It's an important part of my trading, but I also understand that I'm not always going to have the perfect entry. Like I need to be okay with having maybe not a perfect entry, but being in the right idea, being in the right trade plan. And so as long as I am, I'm going to have to be okay with getting out of the trade if it's not working. And that's just, it is what it is, you know, whatever, it's not working. So I'll get out of the trade, take a small loss. But yeah, to never take a loss, to always be like, oh, I'm not going to turn this winner into a loser today. There's a time and a place for it, but it's not all the time. Like Nokia, for example. I mean, honestly, a good example here, right? Like, if it breaks out over 715, the question you really want to ask yourself is if it breaks out over 715, right? Like we get this kind of move. Am I going to be okay if it comes back down here? The answer is yes. I could very well see it playing out like that. So if I sell when it goes under 715, like to me, that's just a little silly. Yeah, for sure. Yes, please. Thoughts on using support instead of bottom of red candle like on MSP? Well, I got burned this morning 3 times on MSPR. Bottom of red candle. What do you mean? I guess I don't get it. Bottom of what red candle? Like any red candle? Yeah, I'm a little confused. I'm a little bit confused. Like for example, to me on Nokia, I'm going to be risking the bottom of this red candle because that's low a day. So like, I guess why I'm confused is like not every red candle can be treated the same. Like, is there a reason for that level to be the area where if it goes under that price, the trade should no longer work? For me on Nokia, absolutely. If it goes under there, it's now making a new low of day, which is pretty bearish, right? It's a pretty bearish setup at that point. $4:30 a.m. MSPR. Okay, let's see. 4:30. Oh yeah, I mean, there's here if that's where you're stopping out here, like at that 4:30 time frame at like 64 cents. Well, I guess how where were you buying? I guess is the question, right? Because if you're buying down here, like at this breakout, that's still a winner. If you're buying up here, you got to ask yourself why you're buying that. Like what's the reason? It already broke out over high a day, right? So you had a couple of entries already. You had this breakout right here at 47 cents. Then you have to break out at 54 cents. What's this? There's nothing here. It's just you're just buying. It's FOMO buying. That's just buying strength for no real reason. So the problem is that the risk level is down here at 38 cents. So like if you're buying up here, you have to risk 50% on your position. That's why I wouldn't be buying up here. Now, that being said, right? Then we get to a spot where all of a sudden, now we've got a new consolidation breakout area right here, right? And now you have a new risk level as well, right here at 56 cents. So now you have this low. I'd risk the bottom of this candle if I'm buying here. But if you're buying up here, I think that's, you got to ask yourself why you're buying up there in the first place. What's the reason? Because I don't see a single reason to be buying anywhere up here. And so then naturally you're going to get stopped out early if you have a bad entry. Again, this is why I'm not going to sit here and say I'm just going to blindly buy anything. And I get maybe you're buying this breakout here, but that's if you're just buying that 70-cent breakout, your only risk level is down here at 38 cents. Your risk level is 50% away, right? So like you got to make sure you've got the right levels still. And you're even if you're buying a breakout, where is your risk level going to be? And if the risk level is too far away, the trade might not make sense. So that's my take on it. Yeah, I always focus on support, and sometimes that support is the bottom of a red candle, like on Nokia. That's the bottom of the red candle. That is support. Nokia here, I'm like holding out for it. I want to see the 715 break before we leave, but I don't know if we're going to. We'll see. Oh, come on. Let's see. Can we get the 715 breakout? I know you can do it. I know you want to. I know you want to do it. We're getting some bidders now here on Nokia also. That's good to see. Finally getting some bidders at 714. If I can time this right, I'll look to buy into the breakout at 715. Nope, I did not time it right. So I just bought there at $7.16. I'll be risking at that's 708. I'll be looking for a 721 breakout, a breakout over $7.21. I technically could risk this higher low here at 711. But I just think I could see it dipping back down here, although I wouldn't want to. But I could see that happening. So I'm going to keep my risk a little bit wider on this one and just try to let this idea play out. And depending on if we can get another higher low before 721, I'd love to see us run up to like 720, dip back down to like 716, and then rip back up, something like this. Then I could risk that 716 area and add aggressively through 721. But again, slower moving stock at this point, it's gotten like that first entry that I'm looking for there. So I'm going to, I'm just going to chill. I'm going to wait. And honestly, now is probably a great time to talk about TradeFunder, especially given the stock we're trading today. Nokia, bit of a slower mover, even turn earlier. Bigger company, slower moves. At this point, we're just kind of going sideways. I don't really see a trade on it now, but man, these are the types of stocks, at least in my opinion, where you kind of have a double whammy, right? Not only are they slightly slower movers, but they're also bigger price stocks. So if you're trading with a smaller account, like Nokia, for example, if let's say you're trading with a $2,000 account, you can only buy 300 shares of the stock. So if you're buying through $7.15 and your goal is to sell at like 730, you might make like $50. Right? It's just you unfortunately just can't really get that much size, or even turn, probably even worse. It's moving like $1 a share at a time, but you're only going to be able to buy like 100 shares. It's a little bit better than Nokia, but these are just they're stocks where they're tough to trade without the right type of account. And I think that's an area where TradeFunder comes in perfectly. Like with TradeFunder, for example, you could afford to buy what Nokia, if you buy $25,000 position, roughly 4,000, 4,500 shares of this, where, listen, it still might not be this monstrous $10,000 day, but if you're buying here through 715, you're buying 4,000 shares and you're risking 708, you're risking 7 cents a share. I mean, that's a pretty sweet position to be in, where all of a sudden you're only risking like $200 on the trade, 200, maybe $300. But there's a very realistic scenario of what I believe could be a multiple $1,000, $1,500 winner if we actually start playing this out correctly. Where, yeah, listen, it's not going to be a 100% move, but the risk to reward is phenomenal. Where we might risk 7 cents to make like 30. That's a scenario where I could see this playing out really well, and especially if we can get to a position where we can add into this a little bit as well. Which we very well may be able to. It's just going to be a time will tell kind of thing here. We're holding up really nicely so far, so that's great to see. But yeah, I think this is a great opportunity real quick to talk about TradeFunder. For those of you guys who are not familiar with TradeFunder, let me go up and actually throw up that link real quick into the chat here. Just drop that into the chat. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you've seen that link coming through. So TradeFunder, again, for those of you guys who have never heard of TradeFunder before, maybe this is your first time here, and if so, welcome in. I go live just about every day. The exception, some days I don't make it, but we make it as much as we can. TradeFunder is the reason that I'm here right now. It's a partnership between Stocks to Trade and TradeFunder. Stocks Trade is where you're watching this stream on right now. We're a trading education company. I've come up through TradeFunder, made over $1 million. Matt Monaco, he's here with me sometimes as well. I know he's been getting a little bit busier in the mornings, unfortunately, with calls and whatnot. So, he can't always make it, but he'll be here throughout the week as well. Matt Monaco is a multi-million-dollar trader that came up to the stocks trade community as well. And our goal is just to help create good traders, good trading habits, and just doing the right thing. We all trade different styles. We show you the style that we trade. I'm showing you this momentum buying first green day strategy, or even on turn, the trend break, the momentum break with good news. We show you our strategies, our setups, but listen, the truth is you might trade a little bit differently than us, and that is completely okay. We just want to help put you in front of the right stocks. Maybe you like buying dips on strong stocks. Well, at the very least, we'll put you in front of strong stocks. And now TradeFunder, again, the reason they've partnered with us here at Stocks to Trade is because, well, listen, you all know the age-old saying, 90% of traders fail. Our goal here is to try to lower that number. We understand we're not going to be able to create a 100% success rate or anything like that. At the end of the day, people are always still going to have their own issues in their trading. But if we can help build the right habits and make that drop down that number, that's what we love to see. And so because of that, TradeFunder believes that we're going to help create more good traders for them as well. Traders who are showing up here every day. I know we've already seen some really amazing messages come through the chats here of traders that are really starting to crush it, starting to see some newfound success in ways that they haven't seen before. And so, with TradeFunder, their whole goal is to get you trading bigger accounts. So for TradeFunder, you're going to start off with a $25,000 funded account. This gives you access to up to $100,000 in buying power. That's our, margin. They've got some rules with it, and I would encourage all of you guys to go ahead and actually click on this link here that I've dropped in the chat to read over this Q&A segment. Any questions that you might have, it's probably going to be answered right here. They've got their list of rules in place. Now, the way that this works is for those of you guys who have heard of a prop firm before. Prop firm, it's a company that will basically give a trader money in order for them to trade. The prop firm wants that trader to make money because the prop firm takes a profit split from what that trader makes. So it's in the prop firm's best interest for the trader to be successful, which is great because if you're also successful, you're giving the prop firm a little bit of the profits while they're funding the account for you. TradeFunder's got a really amazing profit split. It's an 80-20 profit split, well above the industry standard. Normally, you're going to see like 60-40 or 70-30. So 80-20 is really a sick deal. Meaning if you make 10 grand, you'll get to keep 8,000 of it. TradeFunder will keep 2,000 of it. But think of this like your starter account, right? This is your 25K account. It's going to get you access to a lot of buying power, but you can grow. The sky is really the limit. We got traders who have reached out to us. They're working with 100K account plus now. We know traders that are working with $1 million accounts or millions of dollar accounts too. So really cool to see. And the best part is your investment into this is $800 plus a $99 platform fee. So I can't tell you how you should do it because it really is completely up to you. But I can certainly tell you what I would do. This is a deal I wish I had when I first got started trading. At least when I was starting to figure it out. I had a really small account even when I started to figure trading out. And it took me a long time to get over PDT, that $25,000 rule, so that I could freely trade and take bigger positions. So I wish I had this early on, but it just didn't exist. This is kind of the first of its kind here in the US. They're partnered with T3, which for those of you who have never heard of T3, they are like the creme de la crop of prop firms. Anyone who's anyone in the prop firm space knows T3. So really great partnership with TradeFunder as well. Definitely a great legitimizer. But anyways, as I was saying, what I would personally do, right, is I'd look to make like $2 grand, pull out my $800. So then I still have like a bigger account. The account's grown, but I've taken out my own starting stakes. Then it basically is you're playing with the house's money, right? If for whatever reason anything goes wrong, you've already got your $800. You can put it right back into another account if you wanted to and try to do the same thing. That's the way I would do it. But, to each is their own. Everyone's going to have a different approach to it. I'd encourage you to do what works for you. And honestly, I would encourage you at the very least, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is the perfect solution for you because each and every one of you have a different trading journey. Maybe some of you are not even remotely close to feeling like you've got it figured out yet. But if you are, but you're working with a small account right now, maybe you can only take 3 trades a week. You can't really take enough trades to feel like you've got the confidence to do this right. Well, I think this is a great opportunity. And they give you a really nice range of, drawdown. So that they understand if you lose your $800, they understand that that's a pretty small amount of money in the grand scheme of things. So they give you up to $3,750 of losses before they shut down that account. So they're basically betting $3,000 on you to do this right. I think that's really cool. And it's going to give you a little bit of a buffer room too, to make sure that you can do it right. By the way, that doesn't mean you need to go out there and risk thousands of dollars every time you take a trade. right? Maybe you risk 50 or $100. So that way you never really need to worry about blowing up the account with 1 or 2 or even 5 bad trades. It's really just a matter of making sure that you're doing this properly, you're doing this the right way, and taking small trades and growing that account slowly over time. TradeFunder is looking for consistent traders, right? That's their goal. They want to see consistent traders at the end of the day, not a home run trader who loses 85 times and wins big once and they go out and celebrate and buy bottles of champagne. They want traders who are looking to do this as a real thing, a real career or a real part-time, side hustle, I guess, part-time job almost. You don't need to trade every day. In fact, you can go months without trading if that's your style, your strategy, and you're like trading like a sniper. You don't need to trade every day, but for those of you that want to, that opportunity is there with TradeFunder. So I'd highly encourage you guys to go ahead and click that link, see if it is the right fit for you. I'm seeing questions come through right now. TJ says, is there an evaluation test? And listen, again, this is why I would encourage you to go over to the website. The question will be answered. But if we scroll up here, no evaluations ever, right? This is like your starter account. Think of this like your starter. And as you grow, they will reach out to you and ask if you want to get access to more capital, right? Meaning you don't need to go and grow your account to $100,000. If they see that you're doing well consistently, they'll actually reach out to you and ask if you want to get a bigger account. This will allow you to have bigger drawdowns without needing to worry about that. It'll allow you to take more size into these trades, give you more margin, all the 9 yards, the whole shebang. So guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and click on the link. And if your questions aren't answered in here, there's also an FAQ section down here. Reach out to their email, support@tradefunder.com. They'll get back to you ASAP. Now, here's the one thing I will say. The link that I've dropped, there is no discount code. It's just a special discounted link. So if you go over to TradeFunder's website normally, go over to TradeFunder's website normally. Let me go ahead and click on this. No, my internet is, there we go. My internet was struggling there. If you go over to their normal website, it's $1,400 plus that $99 platform fee. With our discount link that you can click on, I've dropped it in the chat. It's $800 plus the $99 platform fee. So again, more than welcome. Well, I lost internet. My apologies. But anyways, guys, I've dropped that link in the chat here. I'm just going to go ahead, and my internet's definitely struggling. I got to go reset my internet. So I've dropped that link. I hope you guys all go ahead and at least click on it, see if it's for you. Again, only you'll be able to find out if it's the right fit. But I actually do have to get going here in like 2 minutes anyways. So probably good timing. I got another webinar I had to go do for the daily income trader system. So yeah, ladies and gents, I will be back. I hope you guys are all having a great day. I'll be back tomorrow with you guys here as normal. I hope you guys are all having a great start to the day, and I will catch you guys back then. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.